What up? What up? It's Dave Noodles. Today we have an amazing show lined up for us. Our guest, this guy, never stops spreading that positive vibes. He is a man of God. He is an amazing dad. He is a super dope hip hopper, and he could pretty much cover any element that you ask for. And we met because of hip hop, and we met because of being people of faith, and it was only right that we met. And it's kind of crazy from Staten to the Bronx. Sometimes you may miss each other, but because of God and hip hop, here we are. I want to welcome my boy to the Type 88 show, Randy Mason. What's up, man?
Yes, yes. What's going on, my brother? I am ecstatic to be here. I love you a great deal. It's an honor, a privilege, a pleasure, all that good stuff. And appreciate that intro too. That was pretty cool.
Of course, man. I could have kept going, but I probably should have played Algo-rhythm as the
Uh,
intro theme music
yeah,
because that's my jam.
yes, man. Thank you.
So for
Glad.
anyone who doesn't know, because I've been following your journey for quite a bit, so I've seen the evolution from you know the, the hip hop bangers to the break dancing, but maybe let's bring it back for anyone that is kind of trying to see you on your early page of you writing that book.
Mm.
Um, Maybe we could talk about that time where you kind of found music or music found you, and how that all kind of came together for us.
Right on. So yeah, I think chapter one starts in 1985. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my mom and my pop. Um, you know, was born to wonderful parents, you know what I'm saying, of Puerto Rican, African American, Jamaican descent. Grew up in the Bronx, so I mean that's about as hip hop as it gets, Black Puerto Rican from the Bronx. And so hip hop was all around, you know what I mean, growing up, especially even specifically in my house, because my eldest brother Wes, um, is an MC, was an MC, and is an MC. And so when I was when I was really young, I remember playing Nintendo, and he would be sitting like on the bed behind me, and he would be like just going through rhymes, and I would hear these rhymes, and it just caught my attention. I remember like uh, you know, just being really intrigued by what he was saying. I didn't know what it like. I didn't know if it was a song or like if it was. I couldn't tell the difference. You know what I mean? Like if this was something he was just making up. Later, like I remember finding out like, oh, some of those rhymes he would be kicking with like Black Sheep records, and he was just kind of going through popular songs at the time. But he was an MC, so he wrote his own rhymes. And so that was the beginning that caught my attention really young. Shout out to my brother Wes, who's still MCing. We got a song that we just did coming out soon, that's called Andrew's Grandson. And our grandfather's name is Andrew. And the
Hey,
song features my big brother Wes Mason and two of our cousins out in Chicago.
nice.
You know what I mean? And so, and they, what is it? Two generations of Masons, so it's I'm excited about that record. But anyway, shout out to Gainsborough on the beat for that joint. So that was like the beginning of it. And then, I would be exposed to again hip hop just like in the neighborhood through, music, cars passing by, the store, not so much in the crib, besides from my brother. In the crib was more gospel music. And that was also very instrumental, even at the church, because like the churches we would go to, the music was a big thing. And for me, Black gospel music like moves me to the core. And especially I was very interested in, I didn't know it then what it was, but now looking back, the improvisational aspect of it all. So like there'd be like the pastor be on the keys, and he would just start making stuff up, and next thing you know, the whole congregation is singing it, and it wasn't a song 5 minutes ago, and now it's a song, and we're all like singing and chanting this thing that he just made up. And so I was like so into that. And now, as an MC, I love to freestyle. And I
Yeah.
realized it stemmed from that, just being in that environment. And you know, the music, the soul, like songs that like come from this deep place, you know, spiritually, on a soul level. So that was very instrumental. And then in fifth grade, I was at you know, I tell the story a lot when I'm out at shows, but I was at a fifth grade school dance party. You know, I was at this, it was a dance party, maybe like the end of the year type of thing. I don't remember. And, you know, daytime, sunshine, and we're in the cafeteria, and I'm with my man, like having Italian ices, and we just chilling. And I remember like being like bitter that I was not brave enough to dance. Like all the other kids were dancing, having fun. And I felt like, yo, that looks like fun, but I was too shy. And I remember just feeling kind of whack. And then the DJ played, you know, the DJ played a song that just rocked me to the core. The DJ played Killing Me Softly by Lauryn Hill. And yo, when that beat dropped, my man, like I could see it now, right? As I'm telling the story, I could see it now. Like everything changed. That beat came in, that bass line, her voice, you know, that smooth, soulful. And what's funny is like there's no emceeing on it, but that is like the most hip hop record ever, still, without like any emceeing on it. You know, your White Clef in the back, her vibe, like the way she sung it. So
Yeah.
everything, and it was new to me. I had not been familiar with the song. And so everything about that moment just rocked my world. And like I could feel the music in every part of my being. I remember also watching how the room responded to the music also. So I remember watching and hearing all the kids, because I guess I wasn't hip to the song that everybody in the room knew, all the kids singing the bridge, you know, and they sang, and the DJ would mute the record and you would just hear the kids' voices. And I was just like, what in the world is happening? Like, yo. And like that was legit one of like the most pivotal moments for me as an artist. I knew I need to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this. I want to feel this again. Like I don't want this feeling to stop. And I think ever since then, I think that my whole artistic endeavor and career and pursuit is to recreate that feeling for myself and for others. So whenever I'm in a space and we catch that zone, you know what I mean? It's like that place and space and time that kind of transcends, you know what I mean? The moment there, whenever that happens, like that's the height of it. That's what I live for as an artist. And those are the moments that I love and try to, again, try to recreate and experience, you know, musically. So those were very pivotal. And then from there, you know, I started messing around with rhymes and freestyling and kicking rhymes here and there. And you started writing little rhymes. I remember writing rhymes at a really young age. And then it just began to grow and grow and grow. You know, I was 14 and my older brother was taking me to record a demo. You know, even before that, actually, shout out to my man, Johnny Boy Vargas. I remember my boy, Johnny Boy Vargas, was like, yo, he heard me freestyling. I was just a little kid and he brought me to his crib and he had one turntable and a microphone. And he had it like rigged to a tape cassette player. So he recorded me freestyling. So I'm freestyling over these vinyl instrumentals. I don't even know what beats he was playing. And there was a tape. I don't know where that tape is now, but it existed for years. And I was just freestyling to these beats. So those were like the early days. And then again, it just began to grow and evolve. And some of my friends began to MC. My brother would be like my beatboxer. Shout out to Eric. He would beatbox for me and I would just freestyle forever.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then we would go to the studio and record demos. And then I was introduced to G-Bo the Pro, who's a legendary, you know, DJ, New York City DJ, Bronx DJ, and just kind of like a cultural icon in terms of like, you know, the essence of this thing. And so, and I recorded with him and other cats. And yeah, man, it's just been a part of my life ever since, man. So that was chapter one, you know, that was chapter one.
You took me on a trip right there, bro. That was
Yeah,
really nice to see.
open mic before we was old enough to get in. Like they used to bring us down to the Pyramid, EO Dub, end of the week. Shout out to those brothers. The New Yorican Poets Cafe. I remember standing in the
Great place.
back, pack
Beautiful.
shoulder to shoulder, and we in the back, and my man's like, "Yo, we probably up next," and it's like, "Oh snap!" I remember getting on stage and like, just rhyming, and so those were the early. There's a lot of stories, man. Keeping the composition notebook, I used to fold it and put it in my back pocket, and everywhere I went, that was just my mo. I had the composition notebook folded in my back pocket, and I would pull it out. All it was rhymes. I would just write rhymes. In school, we'd be hanging out, and I'd just be sitting there writing rhymes, and used to get in trouble a lot for it. Actually, it
Really?
wasn't well received at school or even in my crib at that time, because I don't think my folks saw that this was like a viable option in terms of like something to do with your life. And not that I was like, I'm gonna make a career out of it, but I was so into it that I guess it was distracting me from everything else. And so I guess
What kind of
people
school? What school did you go to? What high
uh,
school?
so in went to Life Sciences High School in Manhattan, and a little bit at Lehman High School in the Bronx.
Okay.
I didn't finish school, so that was a short stint. So my folks and other people were understandably concerned because, and see, that was the thing too with hip hop at the time. I feel like partially because this passion and this joy and this gift that I was exploring and discovering, in part because it wasn't really welcomed in safe spaces. What happens was I had to experience it in places that were not exactly the most fitting for a young man. Understand? So I would be, we would be out and on the streets or wherever, and that's where it was celebrated. That's where it was welcomed. It's like, oh yeah, you're.
Mm.
I felt okay. I'm cool. I could rock here, and I could explore this thing that I love. But those spaces came along with a lot of other things that honestly were really messing my life up. So that was a kind of a conflict, But yeah.
So here we are. You're kind of at. I always say, when you have a calling, pick up. And here you are. You picked up at an early age, but things weren't really registering for maybe the people in our lives that are just like,
Yeah.
how does he turn this into something if he wants to have a family? You know what I mean? We have parents that have probably jobs. My dad,
Mm-hmm.
he's a teacher. He's a musician as well, but he made sure
Mm-hmm.
he got his gig as a teacher and make sure
Yeah.
he was covered and we were good.
Yeah.
So, the route you're taking seems unorthodox,
Yes.
right? Because there's only so many proven people to have made it, right? But here you are, you have this calling, you answer,
Yes.
but yet now you're answering it, and you're finding yourself in all these different spots that
Absolutely.
that the culture brings you to. It could be the streets, it could be the corner, and
Yep.
as you said, you're getting into trouble.
Yep.
How did you kind of find, I would say, maybe the light in it? Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in anything we do, there's going to be a dark side to it that we
Yeah.
either have to face, or we have to ignore or run away from, or whatever we do to
Yeah.
kind of get to the light part.
Yeah.
Maybe you could kind of talk about how you because here you are now, you're you're rapping about family, you're rapping
Mm-hmm.
about, God, and you've really found, everything that I hear is you. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing to really see you
Thank you.
living it and being it and providing for your family doing it.
Right
So
on.
it's like a dream come true for any young person getting in the game of music and hip hop culture.
Yeah.
How did you kind of balance it out? Like, how did you figure it out to find more of the light? As you said, there were some demons along the way, or there were things getting it that could distract someone from finding?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, that's a great question. There's a lot of factors at play. You know, there were a lot of factors at play, and you know, so for one, I think that you know, the foundation was set for me, fortunately, by the grace of God, like by my folks. You know what I'm saying? So there were these seeds that were planted in me as at a really young age, regarding family and faith and God and character and all these kinds of things as a young little dude. And so even though as I got older and began to stretch out and test the boundaries and try to figure out who I am and what life's all about, and like I said, hip hop was the gift and was the joy and all these things, but it was also still kind of only acceptable in certain spaces. And so it kind of, I'm gonna say it brought me, but I went along into some spaces that were not the best for me. But I still had within me, all the while I was very contemplative. I've always been very introspective. I've always been, even when we was out, I'd be in the cut, like just thinking, like, man, like, just thinking things through. So always, I feel like God was always speaking to me, throughout all of those seasons, and really, truthfully, I feel like using music as an instrument to minister to me as a young person and to keep me like, because by the grace of God, I could be wherever, and a lot of people I grew up with, we share, this story, but I feel like for me, the music always kind of kept me just, you know what I mean, far enough from getting completely, burned. You know what I'm saying? Just there was just enough space between the fire and I because of the music, because I was so in love with the music. I was so much more interested in that than selling drugs. And a lot of my friends were getting more into selling drugs, and that was becoming very enjoyable and interesting. And so like it was around me, but I just like, it's cool, I get it, but I was just in this book. Like I just wanted to write rhymes and freestyle and recite rhymes and listen to music. And so that kind of, God used that, I think, to keep me. And then life, man, just experience, for me, writing rhymes is very much like journaling. It's like how I process life, how I, cope and understand, and how I, just think things through, which is why a lot of my rhymes are very reflective of like my emotional state, my spiritual state, things I'm going through. But so just experience, going through life all those years, becoming a dad at a really young age. I was 18 when my first son was born. Like, life just like happening in real time, and music always being there. So me just always documenting the experience and writing. It was kind of this organic, natural process of just kind of growing slowly into, I didn't see it then, and still now growing into, who knows, 5-10 years from now, wherever this thing brings me, wherever God brings me. So there was that kind of process, right? Like I said, my folks, shout out to my folks who were praying for me, and other people who were praying for me, my grandmother, other people, right? So I can never overstate people's prayers for me, people's love for me, right? And God's just sovereignty and like keeping me from destroying everything. So there was that, right? And then again, as I got older, and experience different things in life, I guess, just kind of began to mature a bit and see things differently. There were quite a few experiences that were, I guess, I would say maybe pivotal in terms of just in my faith personally. And so what happens is, for me at least, hip hop has always just been, an overflow of my life, right? So whatever's going on in my life, that was kind of what was spilling out into the rhymes, right? Of course, would embellish things and be creative with things, and but generally it was how I was feeling. So if there was like, very aggressive. You know what I mean? It was because I was processing or thinking or going through things like that. And so, so as I began to kind of reacquaint myself with the scriptures and consider faith afresh, you know what I mean? That began to work its way into the music. And funny enough, around this time when I was beginning to like, really experience God in a fresh way, I kind of put a pause on the music. This was around the time I was playing in a band called The Crowd. Shout out to Akil and Adeline, wonderful people, amazing musicians, homies for life. I was working with them, and we were doing great things, and we were trying to get a deal. We were playing here and playing there. And then I was working with another brother, Zach, from downtown Atlantic, and we were doing, it was fun. It was great. And then it just felt like I hit this glass ceiling, and I was like, yo, I really don't know like what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. Like I just was kind of, I hit this point where I kind of pulled back from everything and everyone. And I was like, yo, I'm just gonna have to, it was kind of a shock to some people. Because I was like, yo, I just gotta unplug. And in that season, I was really getting plugged back into, who God is and who I am as a result of that. And so when that time I kind of put music, when I say I paused music, it was maybe just for a couple of days or a week or so. I don't know, whatever. But for me, that was like a lifetime because I had never been the kid for me since I was a real young, since I was a kid. And then I saw one of my sons. I was sitting in the living room one day, and my son, he walked across the living room. He's a baby at the time or a toddler. And I had a djembe drum in the living room somewhere. And he just started tapping on it. And as he tapped on it, it just awoke something in me, and I felt God say, like, I gave you that. Like, you don't need to let go. I gave you that. I want you to continue to use that gift that I've given you. And I just felt, I was like, okay, it's all good. And so I picked up the pen and went back to it. And so again, a lot of different experiences, man. Shout out to my folks. Shout out to my wife. She and I kind of together began to re-engage the scriptures and re-evaluate faith afresh. We got baptized together, on Father's Day. And that was like a super duper big moment and changed our lives, radically, you know what I'm saying? And so from there, and then it's always, it's a process, progress is a process. And so we talk about this offline all the time, but every day is a struggle, and we wrestle through these things. And I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful for good people around me, and I'm grateful for hip hop, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hope that, I know I'll be going on.
Nah, man. You really painted the picture about, really the building blocks of who you are. And I see the shirt, right?
Yeah.
I see it, and then you're saying it, but I feel it now. From hearing your story and really hearing how just like, God was like there with you the whole way, and then hip hop was there with you too, and then the foundation of family and the importance of family and being, having that responsibility. You got a kid at a young age. I don't have a kid, I pray to have one day, but like I could imagine, no matter what you're going through, the moment you have that responsibility, I know I would be inspired. I know I would want to work harder, and I would get different ideas of seeing someone grow. And and it's a blessing you had your parents there with you as you were growing. And
absolutely.
Despite maybe they had differences of maybe where they thought you may take your future, but they were still that foundation for you, and they stuck with you through it. And
absolutely. And
beautiful.
Now you'll be hard pressed to retweet me before my mom does. You know what I'm saying? So like my folks, amazing, and they champion what I do, and they champion me and all of our siblings and our works and our arts and all that stuff. So You know, again, just a lot of things take time, you know, like anything else. And you grow in a garden, things take time. You take somebody out to the garden, you say, look, that's going to be, you know, a rose bush. And they're like, I don't see nothing there. What do you mean? How's he
Yep.
standing there every day? I see dirt, right? But things take time. Over time, it's like, oh wow, okay, I see how this is beginning to grow and this is flourishing in this way, and you know, whatever. So, you know, everything takes time. I'm super grateful for my family and my kids. And then you talk about like working hard and um, you know, and then just being creative too. I had to reevaluate also, you know, like, okay, like I don't gotta do this the way everybody else does it, right? I don't have to follow the same trajectory. After all, you know, we all are uniquely, you know, made, right? And each of our purpose, you know, our purpose is unique, right? And so I started to reevaluate and just, you know, and discover new pathways to use the gift, right? And to generate revenue and opportunities, and to be responsible, to be a husband and a father, right? So you know, the work that I do in art education as a hip hop artist and teaching artist, a lot of that really stemmed from my wife and I just having these conversations. You know, she's an educator, and just us, you know, connected, like the music and the arts and then education, that we would just be talking like, yo, we could do boom, boom, boom. I remember she and I sat at the table and we were drawing out a logo together. We like, oh, you should do it this way. And we drew out this little logo that at the dinner table, I used to always say live from the kitchen table. Like I still want to do an album called Live from the Kitchen Table, because that's where we used to do a lot of work. I used to record at the kitchen table, you know, do all kinds of stuff. But we did this little logo, and that became the first hip hop program that I ended up launching when I left. I was working in a career in dialysis for 11 years and kind of doing music and the 9 to 5 and all this different stuff at the same time. And I was getting burnt out. I was like, yo, something's got to give. And I was like, yo, I could get another job. Like I could leave this job, and if I need another, I could go get another job, right? But something that's not going to change is my faith is not going to change. My family's not going to change. Hip hop is not going to change, right? So those things are not coming off the plate. So I was like, what, you know, where could I find some space and time? And for me, it happened to be in that career that I was in, which was a blessing and it was dope. But I was able to make some space there, and just shift a little bit and say, okay, you know, even if I got to take a cut, you know, initially, a pay cut initially, I'm going to shift and I'm going to go in a different direction. And we just began to grow and build it, and we're still building and developing things as we go, because yo, life is short, man. My grandfather told me before he passed away, maybe a month before he passed away, we was in the kitchen and he was like, you know, he's like, the things you want to do, and he was, you know, he was up in age, he was in the 80s. He's like, yo, the things you want to do, he was like, do it now. He's like, because before you know it, you're gonna be where I am, and you're gonna be thinking, man, I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z. And I remember that hit me, because I felt like I was used to getting the other side of that counsel, like, you know, take your time, don't worry, like, you know, kind of like be cautious, and you know what I mean, like kind of have a plan B, C, D, E, and F, whatever the case may be. It was an OG, you know, at the end of his game, and he was like, yo, you will be here in no time. So do the things that you need to do now. And that was an inspiration to me, like, yo, God is gonna take care of us. We're gonna be good, you know, while we are being good stewards and being responsible, stewards of the gifts and opportunities that He's given us, right? And so again, using hip hop as a as an art educator, even at the church that I attend now, I'm an associate pastor at Elements Church. Shout out to Pastor E and the whole team there. Really, that whole relationship began with hip hop, you know, be hip hop and faith, but really hip hop, because the connection was, I saw a video of me emceeing on the train, and he was like, yo, we had hip hop and kind of faith and family in common, and that turned into, you know, a relationship that brought us to the church, right? So I'm just like, instead of, you know, kind of taking, for me, it was like taking hip hop out of the box, emceeing out of this box, and discovering new ways of doing it. You know what I mean? I'm saying, of doing it. So
That's
yeah,
beautiful, man.
yeah,
It's you gotta just you just gotta you invested in yourself, man, and you learned that work ethic through what you were doing. You had
right,
you had the format. You're like, hey,
right,
I busted my back here.
yeah,
I'm gonna just bust it this way, but I'm
right,
gonna look back at the end of the day and be like, yo, I did it doing something that was my calling, and
yeah,
God put me here for, and here you are, man. You got 6 dope kids. You've been with your wife for quite a while, and that's a beautiful thing, man. And
yeah,
shout out to your gramps, man. I wish I could have met my grandfather. That's a blessing you even had that conversation with him, and
yeah, man,
that's a jewel that I'm gonna take with me. And
yeah,
what was his name?
Andrew, yeah,
Andrew.
Andrew,
Oh yeah, Andrew's got
yeah,
Andrew's.
Andrew, grandson. We got the
Grand-
song coming, grandson.
It all connects now.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
all,
the Andrew you're talking about.
yeah. And he was the first. So there's a bunch of Andrews after him, his sons and his sons' sons. A lot of family out in Chicago. But yeah, he was a great, still is a great inspiration, like to me. We used to go down to Virginia and spend some time with him at his house, and yeah, just a great classic OG. Shout out to my father too. My father's my hero. My mother's my hero. But just been fortunate to have a lot of great people around me and people to look at and to model. Right, even if I'm doing something different, right? Because character is transferable, right? You can
Mm.
the character as a police officer or as a hip hop artist or as a teacher, right? You know what I'm saying? So you can see the character in somebody who, has a whatever kind of vocation or whatever kind of lifestyle. And you can kind of adopt and apply things in your own context. And that's a lot of what I do is I'm watching people around me and trying to adopt and apply different things, you know what I'm saying? As a father, as a husband, as an artist and keeping it all, like it's all one, it's all holistic. That's a big thing for me. I try to which is why we did the faith family hip hop merch and everything, because for me uh neither one you know is at the expense of the other. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
all you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
my faith empowers, you know what I mean, my art, and my family the same, you know what I'm saying? And it all goes around. So I champion, art when I'm home with the family, and I champion the family when I'm out doing art, and it's all just, you know what I'm saying? It's all connected, man.
I
So
feel it.
yeah, man. I'm grateful, man. God has been gracious. I'm a happy man, yo. Word up.
I feel it, bro. I feel the passion, and every time I talk to you, I just want to build my family vibes. I see the photos and the videos, and we
Yeah.
have our conversations, and I'm like, oh, yo, I want to be like him.
Oh,
And
thank you, brother.
I
Yo,
see how you helping your son dunk.
yeah. Yeah. Yo, it's shout
Beautiful.
out to David, who just got married on Monday. He got
Oh,
married.
shout out.
Yeah, they got married, and it was
Where?
so beautiful. So what was it? Westbury Manor, and I guess that's in Long Island, and but it was a gorgeous wedding. They are wonderful, beautiful people, but like just the whole event, man, there was so much healing there. It was so much like it was so therapeutic and salubrious. It was phenomenal. So shout out to them. And then in terms of dunking, man, that's funny, right? Because I've posted this video. It was just like a funny, like a TikTok thing of me fake dunking. Right? I don't know if
Yeah,
you saw.
yeah.
Cut the edit, and it looked like it didn't look at all, but it was supposed to be funny. But because my son had asked one of my little guys, he was like, "Yo, Dad, he had dunk," and I just thought it was funny. Like it was funny, but it was kind of deep. It was like, "Yo, he just automatically thinks." He has no idea, right? He just views you in that light, like you could dunk. I'm like, nah, I can't dunk. But yeah, man, it's been super challenging, man. It's one of the not one of man the hardest thing I've ever experienced in life for sure is the emotional toll required to try and love and raise a family. So this is super super difficult, but on the flip side, it's also the most rewarding and the most awesome and the most thrilling thing that I've ever been a part of it as you know what I'm saying as well. Um, so yeah, man, and it's real time. It's live right now. I can hear them running right now. So you know, every day I try to like, yo, man, I just pray God keep me, keep us, and let's enjoy this day because we only gonna have it one time around, and then it'll be gone. So
That's
yeah,
so real, my brother.
word.
And I've been following your grind for quite a while. We've been friends for a few years, but I've seen the creativity just continuously evolve. I love your animated videos.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just
So
super dope. They really do for love. Tupac is one of my favorite videos. And I
yeah,
just I love just kind of when so you could see that someone puts care into what they do, and they
mm,
truly care.
mm,
And I love that you really care. I could see it, I could feel it, and I could see it with the animated videos. You really put the thought
mm.
and I could see the thought and the love into what you do. So if anyone hasn't seen, what's the latest video you just dropped,
Yeah,
which is
yeah. So the animated video is called "Rocking Jewels," and that is a song that was produced by my man Gainsborough off our album Remix of Sky. Y'all can check it out, and the video is out everywhere. Shout out to my man Fess John Souza, who actually did the animation and labored on that joint, and brought it to life. You know what I'm saying? So that's a beautiful brother, another dope MC and visual artist, and MC Manifest PHES on Instagram is my man John Souza, and so he and I are working on some more art right now that I'm crazy excited about. Working on a children's book that he's illustrating, and and yeah, just a couple other things. You know what I'm saying? He's featuring on my album coming out. It's not out yet. I'm featured on his album, so it's just good brother, and so thank you for that. Yeah, and then so we dropped Rockin' Jewels. We also just dropped a video, Algo-rhythm, the Algo-rhythm music video.
oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that features a whole bunch of b-boys and b-girls. Shout out to the Dynamic Rockers and Six Steps Before the Lord, B-Boy Indio and Kid Glide and all the kids that participated. And my man Dax Matlock who shot the video. So
Yo,
yeah,
let's. I feel like it's only right. Let's bring in Algo-rhythm right now. It's my jam. Let's pull it up right now, and so maybe do a quick intro to it. One more
yeah,
time.
yeah, let's do it. Yo, this is Algo-rhythm, you know what I'm saying? Featuring my friends, B-Boy Indio and the Six Steps Before the Lord, Kid Glide, Dynamic Rockers, shot by my man Dax Matlock. Enjoy.
Good sound. Can you hear me? Mm. So now, did they make it sound? Could you hear me now? Now, 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 now. Doesn't matter around. Did you make it sound? Could you hear me now? Drop on the internet. Can you hear me now? Look at the algorithms.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
jam
yeah,
right there, bro.
yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you.
And you nailed that video.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. That was
Oh,
that so
oh,
much
hold on
fun.
one. I think I still have YouTube playing.
Mm.
Yo, that's fire, man. That was my jam, and now I like it even more because of that video.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun. It's a fun song for me. Like when I, it moved me, and I had in my head, I was like, man, I feel like this would be, it's interesting. I was like, I feel like, it's just a dance joint. You know what I'm saying? Like it just felt like, horns. I was like, yo, this joint moves. And I was thinking, I had b-boys and b-girls in my mind, but I hadn't reached out to anybody at that point, and just, yo, b-boy, did I put the song out? Yeah, had put the song out, so the song dropped, and we had no plans for even shooting a video. But I know in my head, like whenever we get to it, I feel like it would be dope to have b-boys, b-girls. But anyway, we put the song out, and some b-boys started hitting me up, and for real, like, yo, my man,
Sick.
so my man B-Boy Indio, who's in the video, he hit me. He just called me one morning. I pick up the phone, and he's like, yo, if a song drops on the internet, it's rocket. And I'm like, yo. And then my other man, Sammy, saying Flores, hit me up like, yo. And so a couple of b-boy, and it was just like confirmation, like, okay, yeah. Speaking to the community, that community specifically. And so we brought in the folks you see in the video, Six Steps Before the Lord, Dynamic Rockers, my man Whack One, my man Brooke Jones from Breaks Crew, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. And then after that was crazy, just a behind the scenes story. The day we shot that video, the breaking part of it, because we had shot in 2 days. I shot in Poe Park in the Bronx one day. It was just me, and then we shot with all the breakers downtown another day. But the day that we shot all the breaking, let me rewind a little bit real quick. Breaking has always been something that's been just fascinating to me ever since I was a little kid, right? I would see, you know, B-boys, B-girls at like concerts that my folks had brought me to, or I remember I had a friend, Tony, who would, he was like trying to show us moves, and we were out in the street trying to do freezes and stuff, and like try to do a 6-step. And then also in high school, I had some friends and we'd be in the class trying to learn different moves, but I never really stuck with it. But I knew I loved it. Anytime I got around it, I was just like, greatest thing ever. And so that's always been my response to it whenever I'm around it. So anyway, when we shot that video, you know, I was in my glory because I'm like, yo, this is phenomenal. We had the kids breaking, and so it's beautiful. It was a long day, long shoot. Long story short, that day, my man Homeboy Sandman, who's an MC, a lot of cats might know.
I know him.
Yeah, good brother.
Hi.
Yeah, he's amazing. So he had hit me up earlier in the day saying, yo, I'm going to this party in the Bronx later if you want to roll. And I was like, maybe, but probably not, because we're shooting this video. I'll be tired after this. I'm going home. So but I had no idea what this party was about, where it was, or anything. And so I'm like, all right, so we wrapped the video, boom, boom, boom. I go home, I'm chilling with my wife having dinner. And I was like, yeah, you know, Angel, he had said this thing. And she's like, oh, you should check it out. You should go. And I was like, word, yeah. I was like, all right, let me see what it's about. And so I find the flyer. And so it was in Hunts Point at the Boogie Down Grind Cafe. Shout out to them. Majara is the owner there. And so I show up and they got a DJ outside on the sidewalk. They got a DJ outside, and what they got a dance floor out there. And it's nothing but B-boys and B-girls going crazy. I had no idea. He didn't know the concept of what I was doing, shooting this video earlier in the day, right? He just was like going to this thing. And so I go, and yo, the B-boys and girls are going off. It's totally bonkers, bro. In Hunts Point all night. It was a party called Behind the Groove that a legendary B-boy and teacher from the Bronx, B-boy Quick Step from Full Circle, he throws this party. And so he was DJing along with DJ DP1. And so Cass was breaking off the hook. It was bananas, you know. And that night I met B-boy Atomic, and I asked him, I was like, yo, teach me. You know? And sure enough, they opened their doors and their arms and was like, yo, come through. And that started a relationship with Quick Step, Atomic, and they, you know, some of the cats that trained with them. And I started training with them, which was beautiful for me. It brought me so much life and joy to, like, you know, train with these cats, especially, you know, these cats who are, you know, just have much respect and admiration in the Bronx and in the culture for breaking. So I was doing that for a while. I feel like, you know, I had to take a little break. I'm looking forward to getting back to it, but I had to make some space, you know, in my life. So I put it on pause for a little while, but I'm ecstatic to get back to breaking because it's a beautiful thing, man.
That's a beautiful thing, bro.
Yeah.
It's just great hearing how much you care about things, bro. I think if I'm ever having a tough day, I'm gonna put back this episode and just I'll drop the needle on certain parts of this and just, you know, and I must say, bro, every time we talk, like, I want to be a better human, you know. Man. So I just want to give you a shout because just seeing your passion for God and your family and music, it's very addictive and very contagious. So thank you, bro. Every time we have a combo, I hope, you know, it always means a lot. And
yeah, man, that yo, likewise, man. Praise God for that, first of all, and second of all, I get this way. I don't get this way all the time. People, you know, people know me. I'm pretty, you know what I'm saying, but I get around people who I feel like I can identify with, and I feel safe around, and I feel like we have this mutual thing. Then I'm able to share it and absorb. So I'm absorbing light and receiving from you, and it's life-giving for me also. I tell you this a lot of times when we talk, I'm like, yo, that really like changed my day. Like, that really helped me feel better. A lot of times I'm in a funk or I'm feeling a certain way, or, you know, and then we'll build, and it's just like, oh yeah, you just get this jolt. So thank you for that too. And for the work that you do, that
Of
you've been
course,
doing
man.
in many spaces and spheres, you know what I'm saying, in many aspects. I
Appreciate
look
it, my brother.
as, remember I said earlier, I look to people as models and what can I absorb, what can I apply? I watch you as well and how you move, and I try, take little things here and there and apply it to my context. So, thank you for that, bro. Word up.
Of course, my brother. Thank you, my dude.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure people want to know where to find you, where to get um get that dose of everything you're dropping. So
Yeah.
what's the best way to connect with you to
Yeah,
find out more about your hustle and everything you got going on?
absolutely. Yeah, I guess, online, randymason.org. And you can find everything there. Or on Instagram it's Randy Mason Music. Yeah, hit me up if you're watching this, if you're listening, if anything resonated, if anything, meant something to you, or if you have a question or whatever, just hit me up. Send me an email or a DM or something. I would love to hear from you. And then, yeah, the music is everywhere. Music is out, wherever you stream music or download music. If you really want to show all the way love, if you like, yo, it's all the way love, then you could go to patreon.com/Randy Mason. We have a community there that we're building and we're growing, of folks who are, support and also, are basically a part of like what I'm creating. You know what I mean? That's like home base in terms of like before the videos come out to the public, songs, all kinds of things, they air there at patreon.com/Randy Mason, and I'm able to engage with folks there. Um,
And you could do that too on your site, right? It says keep the rhymes coming.
yeah,
So you go to
exactly.
the website, guys and gals,
Yep,
and
guys. Yeah,
go to randymason.org, and you could literally this is your spot for. And then
everything.
look, you click this right here, keep the rhymes
Oh,
coming by making a pledge. Then
yep,
they got links to all the new video. I see you got the new
yep,
lyric, animated video,
yep.
freestyles, everything.
Yeah,
So this
all
is the
kind of
place to
stuff,
be.
man. And everything matters, everything, like we were talking earlier about, how do you take, how do you make art, a viable vocation, right? um and that really has to do with communities, that really has to do with like, each one, championing each other and kind of like just getting down and being involved, right? And so that's a big part of it. So definitely. Okay, yeah, definitely. Visit the site and yeah, hit me up, man. Show some love and oh, that's what I was saying. I was thinking about something. So shout out to my man Gainsborough. We have a project out called Remix the Sky, and hopefully within the next couple of months we'll be releasing the follow up project, which I'm super excited about. Um, yeah, so that's coming. That's coming real soon. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And if you want to hear it first, go to patreon.com/Randy Mason. You get everything there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
My brother, love you, man. I just, it's always dope to talk to you. I feel like I should just do this as therapy once a week.
Listen,
Uh,
man. Listen. Yo, I forgot to say something. My bad. I forgot to say something. So I definitely shouted out, the fam, right? My wife, who's lovely in every way, and all my kids, right, who are excellent and wonderful. I talked about Elements Church, Pastor E. Shout out to them, real quick. And, I talked about Patreon and the website and so on. But yo, I cannot forget to mention Thrive Collective. You know what I'm saying?
oh, of course.
Thrive Collective, which is the nonprofit where I work. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a New York City arts nonprofit. Creating hope and opportunity in and around New York City public schools through the arts and mentoring. And so we, work in a lot of schools all throughout the city doing murals, music, media, mentoring, and sports. And so yeah, it would I would be remiss to not to fail to mention the team over at Thrive Collective. So yeah, you could go to thrivecollective.org, like you see right now on the screen, kind of get a look at some of the work we're doing and learn how you can get involved. There's a lot of opportunities to get involved, to partner, to collaborate, to volunteer. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. So shout out to Jeremy Del Rio, my mentor.
Most stuff.
Yeah, so I want to get that in there real quick. Thank you,
Of course. Yeah, definitely wanted to bring it up. Make sure to go to thrivecollective.org as well. And
Yes.
I see all the work you all are doing, and it's amazing. So keep it up, yo. And shout out to Jeremy there, the whole squad.
Yep. Thank you. You hear the kids, right? Live real time. You know what I'm saying? Real time. I gotta go upstairs.
Fatherhood is lit.
Body, go upstairs and body slam somebody. Oh, father, shout out to Fatherhood is lit. Yo, we did a couple weeks ago at a block party downtown. It was good to see that brother.
Oh, no doubt. That's my dude right there.
Yeah. We've been working, man. We've been working with Christian a bunch. So that's been great. Christian from Projectivity. And yeah, man, good things, man. God is great, bro.
My brother, I can't wait to see what you drop next. If anyone out there, once again, make sure to go to randymason.org. Make sure to check out the Patreon and get updates on all the new drops and become the supporter on there, and you get all the exclusives. I saw you even drop some cassettes recently.
Yeah.
So my boy got that heat, and he'll definitely light up your day with positive vibes. And make sure to tune in to my boy, bro. He's on an amazing journey, and he's sharing it with everybody to pass that light. Make sure once again to check out Thrive Collective. Once again, mycthrive.org. Is that the right? Or is it thrivecollective.org?
Yeah, thrivecollective.org.
Cool.
Instagram, YC Thrive.
Yes.
Appreciate you always, man.
Brother, you're always welcome back. I can't wait to see what you do next. I can't wait to connect with you in person. But this was good for the moment, and much love, my brother.
Yeah, yo, I love you, bro. We'll talk soon. All right, man. Peace.
Peace, my dude.